Welcome everyone to Drinks and Diplomacy. My name is Andrea Castillo, one of your hosts for this podcast, and I work as a program officer with a nonprofit based in Portland, Oregon called WorldOregon. And I am here with my colleague and lovely co-host, Tim.
Thanks so much, Dre. We are here and excited to get these conversations started. Thank you so much for listening. I'm the World Affairs Council of New Hampshire Executive Director. I've been with the organization for almost 12 years at this point, really trying to take a good, deep look at some of these really important international issues that we think people need to know about.
Yeah, and so really taking a look at today, an introductory to who your hosts are for this podcast, as well as give you a preview of what we're going to be talking about throughout the 10 episode series. And so just so that you all get a little bit of information about who I am, I joined this network of exchange and foreign policy conversations back in 2019. And I don't necessarily have a perspective or background in foreign affairs per se, nor do I have international experience. However, my background in studying the ways that people engage with each other really center around my degrees in social science and cultural anthropology. Super important to me to understand the ways that not only do we live with each other, but how do we really understand each other? And so my time here at this organization has really been centered around bringing those international perspectives, international experiences to home. And so Tim has a lot of experience, though, with foreign policy, foreign affairs, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. So I certainly come at this from more of a foreign policy background, having been a Latin American studies major in college, working at the World Affairs Council of New Hampshire, having studied and traveled abroad. It's really important to me for people to understand, and for myself to understand as well, what's going on in the world. It affects us, it challenges us. And even beyond that, we have so much we can learn from the world. Mm-hmm. To me, it's in everyone's best interest to simply understand this, create these relationships, and make the world a better place. There's so much we can learn from others. Why wouldn't we? So with that in mind, Dre and I came up with the idea for this podcast to give everyone an easy entry into the world of global affairs. We know that it can feel like there are big hurdles to engaging in these types of discussions, but we're here to show you it doesn't have to be that way. By listening, you will come away with a deeper understanding of how foreign policy works, who drives it, what the critical issues are, and how you can have an impact on it all.
Right. And so part of the ways that we're going to be doing this is throughout the series, we're going to talk about such a variety of topics. For example, we'll kick off the series with a deep dive into climate diplomacy, talk a little bit about key players of foreign policy, delve into schools of thought of foreign policy, and then kind of have episodes that talk about different important things to know, whether you're coming to a program, participating in exchange discussions, being able to talk about things from styles of government to sanctions, national security, trade, all that fun stuff. And so we'll also discuss conversations about human rights and exchange and local connections, really understanding the ways that these broader conversations that might seem pretty far away actually make a direct impact to us here at home.
And while you may be thinking to yourself, this sounds like more boring, dry academic stuff, don't worry. We are here to make things fun, interesting, and engaging. We want this to be a conversation, not only with our speakers, not only between ourselves, but with you. So we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear from you as to what's important, what you're thinking when it comes to international affairs, global relations, why it matters to you. This is going to be your primer, your entry point into deeper engagement with the world and ways in which you can affect change, ways in which you can make a difference in what you see.
And Tim, one of the things that I love about these conversations is that we're coming about this in such a casual conversation style, and we're going to be featuring one of our favorite drinks every episode. So Today, I have with me a chocolate abuelita or chocolate caliente, as we say in Spanish, and it's basically hot chocolate. And so each drink that we bring per episode will reflect either the theme of the conversation or a drink that means a lot to us as we're thinking about the conversations that we're having. So since today's a very introductory conversation, I thought I would bring forward this drink, which is one of my favorite drinks to have during the winter time because it's really fun and easy to make. And also it gives me a very deep cultural connection to my Mexican background and really bringing that to the conversation as well. You know, take a little bit, even though, okay, I need to tell you, a lot of the times we'll say chocolate abuelita because that's the box that you'll see at the stores, you know, the yellow box with a little señorita on the front page, an older lady on the front page or on the front of the box. And one thing that you'll hear a lot with this drink is that you should lean a little bit more towards chocolate Ibarra, which is a Mexican made hot chocolate base for this drink. So that's what I use, chocolate Ibarra, but I still refer back to the chocolate abuelita name. What do you have today, Tim?
Well, before we get to mine, I just wanted to say I have tried chocolate abuelita, and it is quite delicious. I did my study abroad in Mexico, but it was August to December, so not too many opportunities for cold weather drinking. Although the coldest I've ever been in my life was when it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit in Mexico and rainy because I had no winter clothing. I was not prepared for it at all. So some chocolate abuelita, chocolate caliente would have been quite nice at that time. For my drink, for our little teaser here, I have my bombilla, which is a traditional gourd from Argentina, or could be from a couple other places, Uruguay, etc. But my drink is yerba mate. This is a drink that is very sacred, very traditional to South America. And Argentina has been one of my favorite places to visit in my life. I love the culture, the lifestyle, the landscape. And even when I was in Mexico on study abroad, my favorite restaurant was an Argentinian restaurant. It is an amazing fusion of Italian, Latin, European cultures. And this drink is a vital part of life in Argentina. You will see people everywhere drinking this throughout the day. They bring their little thermos of hot water. They've got their yerba mate and their gourd. And it's just really great to be able to go to a place to see these things for yourself and to have conversations about what it means. And that's what we're really looking for in this podcast, is giving you that entryway to the world and giving you that opportunity to explore, to change your perspectives, and just to learn a little bit more about this big blue rock we live on.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Tim. It's so amazing to be able to understand that not only with drinks, but with perspectives, right? There are so many different ways that you can take a look at the conversations that we're going to be having during this series. Just like there's so many different ways to make yerba mate, and to be able to really make those connections during these conversations is the main point. So we're really excited to share this with everyone listening, and also excited to delve into these conversations further down the road.
Well, thank you all for taking a quick listen to our little intro here. We hope that you will continue on with our podcast as we release episodes. We hope that you engage. We hope that you will give us your feedback and help us to better understand the areas that you need more info on. So thank you to our listeners. Thank you to you, Andrea, for joining me for this fun adventure. And we hope to have a great time over the next few episodes.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tim. And we'll see you all, hear from you all later.